Look, this is a legitimate issue, and irrespective of how you may feel about how people behave, they have a First Amendment right to talk about this. But there is a legitimate issue here, and I've talked about it in the past. In fact, did work on it as Speaker of the Florida House. It is a fact that in the African American community around this country, there has been for a number of years now a growing resentment towards the way law enforcement and the criminal justice system interacts with the community. It is particularly endemic among young African American males that in some communities in this country have a much higher chance of interacting with criminal justice than higher education. We do need to face this. It is a serious problem in this country. There are a lot of different reasons for it. Not all of them have governmental answers, but it is something we need to confront because you have a significant percentage of our population that feels that they are locked out of the promise of this country, and the result is the anxiety and the frustration that you're now seeing expressed. Look, I personally know people who are professionals, who are African American males. I have one friend in particular who's been stopped in the last 18 months, 8 to 9 different times. Never got a ticket for being stopped, just stopped. If that happened to me after 8 or 9 times, you know, I'd be wondering what's going on here. I'd be upset about it. So would anybody else. I've seen it, not just in that instance, but even growing up. It has to be confronted, but it may not necessarily have a federal bill that we can pass that can fix all this. This is a problem our nation has to confront because it is real. If you're arrested, if you're a 19-year-old young minority male, African American or Hispanic, you're arrested, you're probably going to get, if you're don't have any money, you're going to get public defenders, and they're going to push you towards a plea deal because they're handling 1,000 cases. You now have a record, which means you are now stigmatized in the eyes of employers, in the eyes of your future, etc. So I do think that one of the things that we have to do at the state level and potentially at the federal level is look for ways to divert people early on in first offenses of obviously not a violent crime, so that you don't get people stigmatized early in life with a criminal justice record that basically begins to lock them out. And once you incarcerate someone, their chances of repeating offenses in the future begin to climb because you're now basically housing them with criminals that they're learning the tools of the trade, etc. We do need to address it, and it is particularly troubling among young African American males. So I think there's a lot of different factors, and I've done some work on it. You know, here in New York, the Harlem's Children's Zone, for example, has an incredible record in a geographic area of improving outcomes. That is one aspect of a much broader set of things we need to do. I don't know if this group has a detailed policy agenda, but it is a legitimate issue.